Alrighty, thank you for jumping on, Sara. So, would you like to tell the people a little bit about yourself? So, tell us what you do for work and what do you do for joy outside of work?
Okay, so I'm a teacher and I've been a teacher for a bit over 20 years, but I have a great job. I work with students who've come as humanitarian entrants and who have English as their second language. So I have an absolutely amazing job, which I'm very blessed to have. Outside of work, so work takes up a pretty big chunk of my life, but outside of that, I guess I try to look after my physical and spiritual health by yoga, running, trying to practice mindfulness, trying to get to the beach and swim, or to the basin and swim in water as much as I can when the weather's good down here. Try and grow my own food, and try and remember to laugh a lot when I can.
Yay, because life is here to live, right? Love that. So
Definitely,
much
for
joy in
sure.
that. Well,
Yeah,
no wonder we get along, right? Like a house on fire.
yeah.
So tell me, Sara, before you came along and found me, what do you think was holding you back from buying your next property?
I kind of, everyone kept saying, so I'm in a really lucky position because I own my own home, and people kept saying to me how lucky I was because I had all this money in my house, and I kept thinking, well, actually I'm not, because I can't, my money's locked and it's not actually doing anything for me. So that started mulling over in my head about this asset I have that was actually useless to me in the way that I was using it for bettering my future, I guess. But I was really scared. I was really, we all want to pay off a home and not have debt. And so that was a really big thing, jumping back into debt after having that freedom of not being obliged to pay anything back anymore. So that was a really big block, I guess. And fear of failure, fear of what if it goes wrong, what if I'm doing the wrong thing, I own my own home, how could I be so stupid to get back into debt again?
Interesting. And now what's your thought around debt now?
So I still have moments where I go, oh no, I've got all this money that I owe, but then I go, oh, actually no, I don't owe it really, because I've got someone else who's repaying that for me. So then I kind of go, actually, this is pretty cool. I'm getting all this these assets and building my wealth for the future, and I really don't have to worry about paying it back myself.
Yeah, good on you. You know, it's interesting. I speak to a lot of people in a similar situation to you, where they've reached this big aha moment where they've like, all right, I'm there and I've paid off my debt off my home. But now what? I don't have any cash flow in
Yeah,
my life to live off.
no, exactly.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
what would you advise if there was anyone else in your same situation maybe they're about to pay off their home or they're close to getting there as well? What would you
Yeah.
suggest for them to do in terms of next steps or how to think? Or what did
Um,
you do?
well, I read a book first. My son, I talked to my ideas to my son, and he actually gave me a book on a guy who I can't remember, a guy who was doing a very similar thing to you. And I started reading that. So he got rich and did the same sort of thing off buying investments. So I read that, got really inspired, and then started Googling stuff, started fishing for information, and then kind of went, oh no, I don't know, it doesn't feel quite right. But I was still curious and talking to people. And then I guess I got connected with you through my daughter-in-law, and that just felt right because I knew she had contact with you and knew who you were. So it felt a bit safer that I knew someone who knew you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that connection helped a lot and made me feel like I could do this with a bit of support.
And that you've done tremendously well.
Yeah.
Well done. Good on you. All right. So if there's anyone else out there in the similar situation to you, is reach out and start doing some education by the sounds of it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd start reading stuff, but I wouldn't ever, because I thought about doing it on my own, but there's just no way I would have done this on my own. I would have been overwhelmed. It would have taken me forever. I would have lost momentum. And in those moments where I got a bit scared and a bit, second guessed myself, I had you there to kind of talk me through stuff and the practicalities. If I'd done it on my own, I wouldn't have. I would have fallen off the wagon and stopped probably well before the halfway mark. So
Well, good on you.
research and then employ people like you say, build the best team around you, the people who know what they're doing and are experts in their field.
Amazing advice. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. Hopefully someone out there is watching this in a similar sort of situation to you, and that's inspired them to do the same. You're very inspiring with what you've done, Sarah, just to turn your mindset around from going from, like no debt to like, oh, hang on, there's actually some good debt here that can change your life. So incredible. It's been amazing to work with. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.